The future of money is defined by certain events in financial history. There are times when a little technical feature concealed in a governance reform or blockchain proposal has the power to completely alter an asset structure. XRP has entered one of those times today. The XRP Ledger has quietly launched an update that has the potential to drastically alter its value without any publicity or media headlines. Forever, an important step has already been taken with the introduction of the Automated Market Maker or AMM protocol on the XRPL. However, this update conceals something far more significant. The decentralized governance mechanism of the XRPL has authorized a new amendment. 90% of the transaction fees collected by AMM are redirected to a burn address by this change. Not burned, not recycled, not staked, forever removed from the supply chain. Gone. And you already know what that entails if you know the basics of supply and demand economics. The XRP Ledger has always taken pride in its quickness, effectiveness, and low fees. However, those small fees accrued over millions of transactions are no longer merely a necessary expense of conducting business. They are a way to create value. This is not a company's burn pledge. It's not a marketing gimmick. It's code. Decentralized, unstoppable, and unchangeable. 90% of the fees are automatically transferred to a black hole address with each transaction on the new AMM. One that is not controllable, reversible, or accessible. That's intentional deflation. Now let's discuss the AMM itself. On the XRP Ledger, this feature enables users to facilitate transactions between token pairs and supply liquidity. In essence, the protocol has a decentralized trading mechanism built into it. Order books are not necessary while using the AMM. Algorithms use the liquidity pool's supply and demand to establish prices. This model has previously been validated. AMMs have the ability to power entire ecosystems, as shown by Uniswap, Curve, and others. The XRPL implementation, however, is distinct. It is now economically deflationary, quicker, and less expensive. Here is the reasoning behind the burn. A cost is assessed each time a user engages with the AMM, whether they are performing a swap, extracting liquidity, or giving it. These costs may have previously been allocated to protocol reserves or liquidity providers. However, 90% of them disappear with this modification. More burns occur with higher volume. The amount of XRP in circulation decreases as more burns occur. Each surviving token gains value, since there is fewer XRP accessible. A feedback loop is in place, and the code enforces it. XRP's AMM fee burn is steady and proportionate to activity, in contrast to Ethereum's EIP 1559, which burns a percentage of gas fees dependent on network congestion. It simply occurs with each trade every second, permanently changing the asset supply dynamics. It is not dependent on usage spikes or user consensus. Consider it this way. Consider owning stock in which a portion of all outstanding shares were permanently bought back and destroyed each time it was sold. Your ownership stake would grow over time, not because you made more purchases, but rather because the overall supply continues to decline. In the case of XRP, the protocol itself is burning the asset as it enables financial activity, rather than a firm repurchasing shares. This is a significant change in our understanding of tokenomics. The majority of cryptocurrencies experience inflationary pressures through development fund unlocks, staking emissions, or mining incentives. XRP simply changed the course of events. The asset becomes rare with each new exchange. This scarcity isn't hypothetical, rather it's hard-coded, unchangeable, and enforced by the ledger itself, rather than by individuals. Let's examine this and its implications. XRP is now experiencing deflation. The burn rate may increase significantly as AMM usage increases, which it will as DeFi becomes more essential to financing. Millions of XRP may be burned annually if trade volume reached billions. With 100 billion in total supply and little under 50 billion in circulation, the impact may seem gradual at first, but as it builds over time, it becomes seismic. Do you recall the Bitcoin halving cycles? The supply is interrupted every 4 years. That contributes to the long-term growth of Bitcoin. Now picture XRP experiencing a daily halving effect and a continuous burn with each and every AMM interaction. Cyclical scarcity isn't that. Constant deflation is what that is. Here, let's do some calculations. Assume that the AMM expands to support a daily trade volume of only $1 billion. That amounts to $3 million in fees every day at a 0.3% rate. We're talking about $2.7 million worth of XRP being destroyed per day, if 90% of that is burned. That might be between 5 and 6 million XRP every day at the present price. Lost, that's 1.8 to 2 billion XRP taken out of circulation over the course of a year. The burn rate quickens with increasing volume, and each token that remains gets more valuable as the supply gets smaller. The notion of a $25,000 XRP begins to make sense at this point. People, it's not hype, math is involved. Value must increase to make up for any decline in supply if XRP becomes the foundational liquidity protocol for cross-border payments, DeFi trading, and CBDC interoperability. We are discussing the tokenization of entire banking institutions, stocks, commodities, and real estate. XRP may end up serving as the tokenized world's liquidity backbone. If this is the case, the AMM may see a volume flow of trillions of dollars, increasing the burn rate to a point where scarcity is forced at a never-before-seen rate. Let's discuss value accrual as well. Burning XRP transfers value to all surviving holders, rather than simply vanishing. One of the most straightforward ways to show passive appreciation is in this way. You're receiving more value per token, rather than fresh ones. In contrast to inflationary monetary policy, which gradually reduces your purchasing power, this is the exact opposite. By holding, you could improve your purchasing power. With XRP's new model, Binance burns BNB, but we've witnessed centralized token burning before. XRP's AMM burn differs from Luna's burn plan, which was based on organizational decisions. It is decentralized and validators use consensus to enforce it. No business can turn it off, it cannot be undone by any team. The network permanently improved itself when the amendment was approved. It is powerful because of this. It's a protocol rule, not an incentive. As a result, XRP is currently establishing itself as the cryptocurrency's hardest currency, quicker than Bitcoin, deflationary compared to Ethereum, more dispersed than most rivals are aware. The discussion of XRP's use case is also altered by this update. For years, XRP has been positioned as a bridge asset for payments. That remains true, but it has evolved into something more. It is self-burning and has programmed value. The more you use it, the harder it works. It's a digital currency that improves with size. That asset class is completely new. Now what are you supposed to do? First, acknowledge the moment. Protocol upgrades of this nature are rare. They ambush people. It won't be discussed by the media until the price changes. However, the chance will be gone by then. Awareness provides you an advantage now, before the AMM ecosystem reaches its full maturity. Second, comprehend the workings. It's not hype. It's a community-approved, governance-driven protocol design that is implemented by a validator. It's true, it's in real time. It cannot be undone. Third, decide for yourself. Sincerely, XRP is currently one of the most alluring assets in the market if you support code-based economics, believe in scarcity, and think that value should accrue to users rather than simply developers or venture capitalists. This is a live burning scarcity protocol that is only just getting started. Thank you for viewing. You're ahead of 99% of the cryptocurrency community if you've read this far. Please leave a remark below. Do you think XRP will be permanently altered by the fee burn mechanism? Does $25,000 represent a dream or a fate dictated by code? Turn on notifications, hit the like button if you learned something new, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses. Disclaimer, please keep in mind that I do not hold a financial advisor license. These videos only include content that is meant to be entertaining. Before making any financial decisions, I always advise viewers to do their own research and speak with experts. Many thanks for listening. Please remember to hit the subscribe button.